Ozone is formed naturally in the environment when oxygen, O2, is hit with ultraviolet rays, in which it becomes two oxygens with a delocalized electron. These oxygens with delocalized electrons are highly reactive, and they then react with an O2 and oxygen to form ozone, O3.
Ozone depletion is an exothermic reaction because energy is released. We have start with ozone. Then the ozone is exposed to more UV rays, this time weakening the ozone and forming oxygen molecules, and then oxygen with a delocalized electron. After that, the oxygen with the delocalized electron and then the remaining ozone form oxygen molecules that are just found in the air. The whole process of ozone depletion and ozone formation is called the Chapman cycle.
Wow.
Okay, well, in case you didn't understand our super complicated, chemically advanced explanation of natural ozone depletion and reformation, you can look at this example right here. See here, this water, the water in this container represents the ozone layer normally. So then what happens is the low UV light from the sun hits the ozone layer, which breaks the surface tension of the water, and it's kind of like breaking the tension of the ozone. So the ozone deforms, and then it reforms again, and it just looks still. It's like you can barely notice the difference. And that's natural.
Go.
One method of unnatural ozone depletion is from nitrous oxide. Nitrogen monoxide binds with ozone to form nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. The nitrogen dioxide and then delocalized oxygen form nitrogen monoxide and oxygen. Most of this is caused by the waste caused by jet aircraft. And this, as you can see, is taking away from the ozone and making it oxygen and nitrous oxide.
Other than nitrogen oxides, another common form of air pollution that leads to ozone depletion is chlorofluorocarbons, but more commonly known as CFCs. But let's try saying chlorofluorocarbons together, okay? Chlorofluorocarbons. Now you say it. Okay, so let's explain what chlorofluorocarbons are. Chlorofluorocarbons are compounds. They usually have a low flammability, which would make it seem like it wouldn't be so bad for the ozone. The only problem is the decomposition of chlorofluorocarbons, like this one here, Freon, also known as dichlorodifluoromethane, leads to the release of chlorine. And the chlorine released into the ozone is very bad. It destroys the O3 molecules, and it makes the air potentially poisonous. In case you're still confused about NOx's and CFCs for unnatural ozone depletion, we could look at Raja, the tennis master. Just kidding, I'm the tennis master. But anyways, here's Ginzy with an explanation on what actually happens.
In this demonstration, the tennis racket symbolizes ozone, while this lacrosse ball symbolizes ultraviolet light. When ultraviolet rays hit the ozone, it cannot penetrate to the atmosphere, and it cannot reach the ground because the ozone is present. However, with the presence of CFCs and NOx's, say something like the scissors. When the ultraviolet light comes in contact with the ozone,
It goes straight through.
it just goes straight through. And now the ultraviolet light gets to our atmosphere in an unproportional amount that's usually allowed.
So here's Ginzy tanning. Even as pale as he is, without ozone, his skin will turn into this.
Due to the unnatural depletion of ozone, more ultraviolet rays are coming down to Earth than they should be, which means that I'm at a higher risk of getting skin cancer and sunburn at sitting out here without some sunblock. I should probably go get some.
CFCs are bad, so we want to find alternatives. One alternative that we do know about the CFCs are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons release a lot less chlorine than CFCs do. The only problem is they are extremely flammable. So, why is ozone so important, you may ask? Well, let's say there was no ozone in the world, okay? Here's the world before, and then this is what the world's going to look like with no ozone. That's a pathetic effort.
I think we ran out.
What?
This is probably the same one they use for the Honor Society.
That's gonna be in the video.
That smells. It's not
Let it
wet
on this
fall,
side, let it
it's
on
the
this
wet
side.
leaves.
It's not wet, it's perfectly dry.
It's been raining for like 2 months.
Excuses, excuses.
We need a new lighter.
I think I need a lighter.
No, you can't
Lindsay's
be
pretty good
trusted
at
with
this.
fire.
Oh my gosh.
You can't
Oh,
have too
what-
much smoke, you guys.
Basically, that's what's gonna happen slowly over time.
Enough, we have enough.
Is that enough footage?
Yeah, oh wow, it smells awful. Shut it down, shut it down. Oh, we should have done this under the fume hood. This was an awful idea. Wipe it in the fume hood, wipe it through the
It
fume
smells
hood.
like burning leaves.
No, that's,
was gonna say
I didn't
something
know
else.
what burning leaf smell.
It smells like weed.
Exactly. If there's no ozone, the whole world gets high.
Mr. Gleek, what do you have to say about that chlorodifluoromethane?
They're bad.